Hello, it's me Ankit Sai, and this is a project related to the vertical search engine that is similar to the Google Scholar that only retrieves the papers books by a member of a Coventry University at least, where the one of the co-author must be a Coventry University staff member. So in this project, I have done a vertical search engine. So this is a project related to that. So over here there is the two part. One is the search engine and another one is the text classification. So to describe this in short, so in the search engine part, so there were the three component that was being used to develop a search engine. One was the crawler component, and the second one is indexing component, and third one is the query pre-processing component. So over here in the crawling part, so first of all I have installed all the dependencies and the libraries that was needed to initiate the project. So in this part, so all the libraries were imported, and then in the crawling component, so I have fetched all the data from this base URL, and different kinds of the functions were applied over here, and like the mm, database.csv was created after crawling the data from that base URL. So and the different information like the title, author, published link were appended over here in this database.csv file over here. And as you can see also the result over here for the crawling, so 1188 records were scraped from the crawl data, and there is already the output that is displayed over here in this code. So these were the results of the scrape data from that crawl information. Okay, this was the part of the crawling component, and now let's move on to the next component, that is the indexing component. Now after in this phase, so what we did was like we did data from that local folder called database.csv and just rename the columns like unnamed to 0. And as you can see over here, so we also try to remove the duplicate value over here in the script underscore db, that is the database.csv file. So it was stored in the data frame, and before performing the indexing process, so we have applied the pre-processing text, that is like removing stop words and removing like the punctuation and the making it to the lowercase, and using the different kind like using the word limitizer like tokenization process were performed before indexing over here. And as you can see over here, this is a single row title and this is a sample title, and as you can see over here the performance is in the capital. And after performing all the pre-processing text process, then we can see over here all these were converted in this uppercase character were converted into the lowercase, and all the punctuation was also removed like in the manage. As you can see over here, this was the punctuation error, and so we have also fixed that. And in the lemmatization demonstration, so what we did was like we performed the different kinds of pre-processing text over here, and at the end what we did was like we pre-processed all these data frame and like scrape underscore db, and we also dropped the columns that was unnecessary over here in the scrape underscore db like the author and publish. Okay, so this was the part before performing the indexing process, but now the real thing come over here, like we constructed the index over here. And as you can see over here, we have applied the indexer function over here, and for the cross layer words, so we have also cross layer multipath multi-channel mac protocol managed was stored in the indexing over here index. And this is the output of the index data, as you can see over here. So index data for this ability, it is 248, 644 and 1040. So this was the result of the index data after applying all the pre-processing takes like removing the stop words punctuations and making it into lowercase and using the word limitizer like the different kinds of the functionalities over here. So this was the part of the indexing component that was used to develop a search engine over here. And now there is a last part for while developing the search engine, that is a query pre-processing. So as you can see over here, so in the query pre-processing part, so I have developed one of the demonstration query pre-processing over here. And after that, as you can see over the result over here, so Yeah, also in the query preprocessing part, so we have split the query into the individual terms, and type that this is split query, and it splitted the query into this source terms into the split and the query. And in the query preprocessing part, so we have also applied the boolean functionalities by applying the union and the intersection list over here. And there is also the result of the search engine function of the test search engine. So before developing the final search engine, so we develop a test search engine and check the whether all the data was scraped or not. Also, I type the database management system, and as you can see over the result over here displayed in this course, so there were the 114 rows and the 5 columns over here. While querying this terms database management system, and now after applying all this checking into the test search engine, so we try to decide the check into the final search engine, and I type the databases over here, and as you can also see the result is displayed over here. And additionally, I have also scheduled the crawler for every week. So to demonstrate the weekly schedule crawling, the following parameters were defined. That was the interval, and so over here in the crawling I have defined the interval is equals to 7, and as you can see over here we can see the information over here: crawl at 2023 603 at 9:13:53 second. So now the next crawl will be scheduled after 7 days, and at the same time it will be crawl, and it will be crawl after the 7 days. So the over here in this search engine part, I have also scheduled the crawler for every week. And now let's go into the GUI of the final search engine. So in the final search engine, I have already typed the database management system. Now as you can see over the result over here for the database management system, now this is the final vertical search engine that I have developed over here. So as you can also see the database management, and the result is also being displayed over here. Let me type in the next sentence. Okay, for the access, now as you can see the result is displayed over here in tabular format. Okay, so this was the working mechanism of the vertical search engine that I have developed in my project. Now let's move on to the next part section, that is the text classification section. So in the text classification section, so the necessary libraries were imported before performing the text classification process. So over here, so based on the data source that was provided, the 3 chosen classification were business, engineering, and art. So by applying the different NLP techniques, the text classification algorithm was performed over here. And so as you can see over here, we have loaded the data set, and we have the distinguished into the 3 categories, that was the business part, tech part, and the arts part. And you can see over here the news.df.csp was the data source that was provided to perform the text classification process. And there is a result of the different, like we have dropped the columns like on name into 0, and different preprocessing part was initiated before applying the text classification process. So you can see over here also in the code there is a different category. And now as you can see over here, this is a demonstration of the preprocessing, and there is a 2 script over here, that is the original script that was before applying the pre-processing text. And as you can see over here, there is a different kinds of the special characters present over here in this word. So after pre-processing, so it was this 8 was converted into the lower cases, and there were like the different pre-processing techniques like the removing stop words, word lemmatization, and punctuation error was performed over here. And this is the pre-processed data. Now after that, we also applied the exploratory data analysis of that news article. And then what we did was like we trained the model over here to perform the text classification process on the base of the trained test model. So now over here, so we have constructed the model for applying the text classification. And in the text classification, so we decided to apply the one is a decision tree matrix, and another one is a rich classification, and The most important one is like the multinomial naive Bayes classifier. So these were the three classification that was applied to classify the text present in dash news underscore df.csv. So these are all the outputs and the accuracy and the F1 score of the decision tree matrix, Bayes matrix, Bayes matrix. So these are all the outputs of all the metrics that was applied to perform the text classification. But while selecting the model, so though the RIS classifier performs the best on the three of the models, so however the multinomial naive Bayes classifier was chosen to create the final model because it has the ability to provide the probability score for each prediction it makes while scoring similarity to the base model. So at last, the multinomial naive Bayes classifier was chosen to create the model. So over here, so this is we have created the model on the base of the multinomial naive Bayes classifier. And over here in the array, so there is a three categories that was defined earlier in the beginning of the project, that was arts, business, tech. And now we apply the final testing over here, and as you can see over here, these are the accuracy. This first sample text uses a tech news article. Okay, this is a tech news article about streaming services and video games. The classifier, if appropriate, should classify this as a tech text. Okay, this text we took as this text, and this was categorized into the tech, and the model reflects this with the 0.39. Okay, now what we need to do is, like, while we will be applying this one, now let me go into the GUI of this one project. Over here the text. Okay, as you can see over here, the accuracy of the 0.452 is our present in the text categories, so we can predict it. And as you can also see, the result over here is the predicted category is equals to tech. Okay, so in this sentence, so we can categorize this one as a tech categories, and this was the text classification GUI that was implemented. So this was the project related to the vertical search engine, where every component like the crawling was also performed, indexing and the query pre-processing was performed, and also the text classification was performed based on the multinomial naive Bayes. So this was the working mechanism of my project, and I have also uploaded all this code into the GitHub, and that is also shared into the document. So thank you